What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. Today, I have right here the Google Pixel 6 and the Google Pixel 4a. One was released in 2021, which is really new, obviously, and one was released in 2020 of August. One is considered a premium mid-range or a flagship. One is considered, obviously, mid-range, and you can guess which one is which. But I want to compare the two and spot out their differences and see in the end which one is the better buy overall. But before I do begin, I'd really appreciate it if you can give this video a thumbs up and turn on the bell notifications, as it does help out the YouTube algorithm and will help push my content out to more people. But without further delay, let's dive right in. Okay, so when we look at design for both of these devices, we can definitely tell there's a huge departure, a huge change from the Pixel 4a to the Pixel 6, and that's because Google has went towards a more unique, a more different design. So when you see someone using this device out in public, you can say, hey, that is a Pixel 6. Or if they're using something like the Google Pixel 6 Pro, you can say, hey, that's a Pixel 6 Pro. But for years, and I personally think that the design from the Pixel 4 up until the Pixel 5 and 5a, they've been relatively the same, more or less. They've been the same, and the Pixel 4a rocks that same design. It comes built, it's a plastic unibody design, and I personally like it. It's all unibody. It's all plastic right here. No metal, no aluminum, no glass, nothing like that. And that makes sense for its price tag of $350. But I like how, since it is mid-range, I don't know why mid-range devices typically are getting the headphone jack now and they're omitting it from flagship devices, but we have the headphone jack here. Now with this more unique design, we're definitely getting glass on the front as well as the back. Gorilla Glass Victus as well as Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and Gorilla Glass 6 on the back, which does support wireless and reverse wireless charging. Obviously, Pixel 4a does not. Now, we also get this aluminum railing, which comes in a matte finish, which I personally prefer over something like the Pixel 6 Pro, which has glossy sides. I don't like that. This is so much better, this aluminum matte finish to it. Now, when we look at the overall feel of the device, one is bigger than the other. The Pixel 4 comes in at 5.8 inches compared to the Pixel 6 that comes in at 6.4 inches. They are both full HD, but one is at a higher refresh rate. Pixel 6 is 90 hertz and Pixel 4a is 60. And I think in 2021, the standard should be 60 or 90 hertz. Even for a mid-range, for a $400 device, it should be at least 90 hertz. Yes, Pixel 5a that did come out is a 60 hertz, and this costs $450. But more so nowadays, flagships are coming with 120 hertz. We're seeing higher end flagships with like 144 hertz. So as next year, if you start seeing devices that ship with 60 hertz, it's going to become a little bit kind of awkward and obsolete. Anyway, when we look at the bottom, we both have USB-C and a set of speakers right here. These both, obviously, both of these slots, they're not speakers. Only one of them are. And then we have the second set of speakers in the earpieces right here. We do have the hole punch cut out in both of them, and Pixel 4a was actually the start of Google's kind of more minimalistic look, a more modern look. Up until then, they used a notch, which on the Pixel 3 XL was really bad in my opinion, and the overall chin or the forehead on the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, which I personally don't mind too much. But this is the more minimal look that Pixel devices started to go with. And if you look at the hole punch, actually, the hole punch camera cutout on the 6 and the 5a is smaller than that of the Pixel 4a. Just something that I noticed. It's nothing too serious or anything to worry about when picking up either one of these devices. Now, looking at these sides, we have the color accented buttons, which, man, I like how Pixel up until the 6 and 6 Pro, they had that accented buttons. The Pixel 5a has like a texture to it as well. I kind of wish they'd continue that with the Pixel 6. Maybe they'll do it with the Pixel 6a and the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro that come out in 2022. Who knows? Looking at the back, we get one camera lens on the Pixel 4a, and even to this day, I mean, the camera quality, which I'm going to talk about later, still performs like a champ. And with the Pixel 6, we're getting what Google calls the camera bar. And we have two camera lenses right here, an upgraded 50 megapixel telephoto lens, not telephoto lens, just a wide lens up from its main 12 megapixel. So let me say that again, a 50 megapixel main wide lens, an upgrade from the main 12 megapixel lens that's used on Google devices since the Pixel 2. And it also comes with an ultra wide as well. It does not come with telephoto lens. The only one that comes with telephoto lens is the Pixel 6 Pro. Instead of speakers, and obviously a flashlight or a light as well. And that's really it. You notice how the fingerprint sensor, the physical fingerprint sensor, is on the back of the Pixel 4a. And if you notice here, the fingerprint sensor is in the display. It's been hit or miss. It's the same on the 6 Pro. It's been hit or miss. I really hope they can update it in a software. It's really, really slow, and I don't like it. And it's your main method of, authenticating your device and unlocking your device. It doesn't even have like a face unlock. Even with just like the camera, it's just not that good. Like the fact that I can't just go like that. Other devices, it says hold a little longer. I'll hold, right now it says I couldn't process fingerprint. Let's try it again. There's a slight second to it. You kind of got to wait an extra second. Now, it's not the biggest problem in the world, but for a fingerprint sensor that's not even, it's optical too, I would expect better, but that's okay. But overall design, if you're looking for something that's really just minimal and not too, that screams unique, Pixel 4a with a smaller body that's more compact, it's more easily accessible with one hand, then yes, Pixel 4a. But if you want that more unique design with Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, then this one is definitely the way to go. This sort of seafoam, I'll leave links in the description down below if you want to pick one up. Man, this sort of seafoam is my personal favorite color of the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro lineup. But more unique design, Pixel 6 is the way to go. And more minimalistic than Pixel 4a. My personal opinion, I actually like the unique design of the Pixel 6 more. I actually would prefer, though, if they had a maybe compact version of this. Maybe that's coming with the Pixel 6a, who knows? But if they had a compact version of this device with this unique design, that would be perfect. Anyway, let's dive right into software. Okay, so when we look at software and performance, here's where things kind of get a little bit different. Overall day-to-day experience, let me put it that way first. Day-to-day experience, they're both great. They are both great. Now, when I want to compare the two, you're definitely going to see a little bit sort of hiccups when you compare the Pixel 4a with the Pixel 6. The Pixel 6 comes built, ships with Google's inbuilt silicon chip, Google Tensor, and the Pixel 4a comes shipped with the Snapdragon 730G, which is a more mid-range, lower-end chipset, and it's maybe 2 years old at this point now, so it's not the highest end or newest end mid-range chipset on the market either. But overall, day-to-day use, both devices are great. But when you want to go for more harder tasks, maybe playing games, Call of Duty, that require a little bit more frame rates and whatnot, or having a bunch of apps open in the background, then yes, the Pixel 6 is going to definitely perform better. Its Google Tensor chip really does work well. The fact that Google now is in charge of both hardware and software, they can optimize it to whatever they really need essentially. And you see that with the Pixel 6. And long term, if you're looking at both of these devices, which one's going to last me longer in this department, software and performance, then I would say Pixel 6 because it has that newer chipset. And obviously, you're going to be getting more software updates as well as security updates. Overall, though, software, they both have Android 12. Now, the Pixel 4a actually released with Android 10, and a month later, it received Android 11. But the Pixel 6 does come shipped with Android 12, which is a redesign. You can definitely tell with the home screens right here. I love Material U. It just gives that extra theming option. It looking at these icons and really even the Google search bar at the bottom of the phones, they are themed according to the color of your wallpaper, and that's really cool if you ask me. And even if you go to other apps, like your keyboards are going to work, the notification trays, like just look at that. I personally like how it looks, but it all comes down to preference. Now, Android 12 shipped with Pixel 6, and you'll be getting at least 3 years guarantee, so 13, 14, and 15. And with the Pixel 4a, it's looking like Android 11, 12, and 13. And we may get 14 at this point. Nothing is confirmed, but it looks like we already got 2 major software updates with the Pixel 4a. So we'll have to see next year when Android 13 does release. So software experience is really the same. It's not stock Android. We can't really say stock Android anymore because they are coming with this, Pixel UX look to it. There are some Pixel exclusive features that are not found on other Android devices. So I don't know how true the statement vanilla Android is anymore nowadays, but if you still want to call it vanilla Android, I guess you can. But overall software experience has been great. Now with the Google Tensor chip, you're getting live translation, and it's so much easier to translate your text rather than type, and it's just like super duper on point. The Pixel 4, yes, it will pick up, but the fact that Google Tensor optimized well with Google, built directly by Google, it just works so much better with the AI technology that's built in the Pixel 6. So overall performance, it has to go to the Pixel 6 with its just upgraded hardware and the implementation of the software technology. Next comes camera. All right. So I want to first put it out here. They're both Pixel devices, which does mean you're getting really good photos. And if you're just looking for a device that's going to, you're not looking for extra lenses like an ultra wide or a telephoto right off the bat, then, forget about the Pixel 6. Pixel 4a is really great. I think like if you're looking for a device that has only one camera lens, an iPhone SE would be in this category that performs like a champ. Pixel 4a is definitely the way to go. It's a Pixel camera. Night sight on this, for example, is amazing. I made a bunch of videos about this when I first picked it up last year, thanks to you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. But if it's for one lens camera, this performs like a beast. But obviously comparing the two, we're getting upgraded hardware and software with the Pixel 6. Now, like I said, the upgraded 50 megapixel main camera lens on the Pixel 6, it's still limited to 12 megapixels when you're actually taking the photos. I hope Google does change that later in the future. And with an ultra wide, I believe you're getting a 114 degree angle. So the larger the angle is, the more you can obviously get, the more things you can get, more people you can get in your photo. And that's a huge plus. I'll be putting up sample photos on screen and have you kind of take a look at which one do you kind of prefer. Overall, obviously, I prefer the Pixel 6, but given whatever circumstance you're in and what you're looking for, if you're just looking for a camera like, hey, I'm not too into using different modes or different camera lenses, I just need a device I can pull out of my camera and take a photo, and that's really it, then Pixel 4a. But if you're saying, hey, I want an ultra wide camera lens and I want to use some extra modes here with like long exposure and whatnot, then definitely Pixel 6 is going to be the way to go. Now, Magic Eraser that first debuted on the Pixel 6, at first I thought it was a Pixel 6 and 6 Pro exclusive, but it seems that it's not. It's a Pixel exclusive overall. You would have to download the latest update to Google Photos, and from there on you can edit your past images as well with Magic Eraser. But the fact that it's built into the app. Now I know I've been getting a bunch of comments and saying, oh, we've been doing that on iPhone and Samsung had that for years as well too. Okay, I get it, but I just like the fact that they kind of really pushed it out there and it's inbuilt. I know I can download a separate app. I know that. but I just like how it's just more conveniently built in, and it's using AI to kind of understand what you want to get rid of in your photo. You take a picture with a bunch of people in the background and you want those people gone, it'll giving you suggestions of what you want to erase, and you can sometimes go ahead and choose what you want to erase. In fact, let's go ahead and take a photo of this pencil, and let's take a photo of the Pixel Buds A. And what I'm going to do is take a photo right here. I am going to go to edit, and it's going to give me suggestions. Obviously, I'm going to go to crop. I'm going to go to tools, magic eraser. Okay, tap to erase highlight suggestions. So watch this. It didn't give me any suggestions. So I'm going to circle a brush to erase, and watch how precise it is. Like, I'm just going to like tap or scribble past the Sharpie. It does take a while, but there you go. Like, it figured that, okay, I want to get rid of that Sharpie. And yes, while it's not the best, and you can tell there's definitely something missing there, the fact that it realized that I can take away, I wanted that Sharpie gone, and I scribbled over the Sharpie too, and it highlighted the Sharpie, just the Sharpie, that's great. That's all because of AI. It's because of the fact that it's working well with Google Tensor. So that's a huge plus, but you will be able to get this feature with older Pixel devices. So don't worry about that, but I just like that feature, and this feature did debut with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Overall, though, if I were to choose one of the two for overall camera, because with video, you're getting video upgrades too, Pixel 6 is definitely the way to go. It's more versatile when comparing to the Pixel 4a. But when you look at, for the pricing, I think Pixel 4a is good for $350 a Pixel device. The camera quality and especially the photo quality for that price is still insane. But the upgrades that you get for an extra $250 is also a huge improvement. It all comes down to your personal preference. I just prefer the more versatile, and I'm looking for higher quality photos and videos. So for me, Pixel 6 is my choice. Now we come to battery life. And surprisingly, with the Pixel 4a, we have the 3000 milliamp hour battery. It's a compact device. It's much smaller. But with the Snapdragon 730G, it doesn't require too much energy, too much battery. It doesn't require that much consumption. So battery has been really well with the Pixel 4a. Obviously, using it after more than a year, it hasn't been the best as it was since day one, but it still performs really well. I'm getting about 4.5 hours. I can't even speak. 4.5 hours of screen on time. Now with the Pixel 6, I was a bit disappointed. I was expecting with that 4,600 milliamp hour battery, it doesn't come with like a Quad HD 120 hertz refresh rate. I was expecting really good battery life, but I'm still getting like 3.5, at the most 4 hours of screen on time. Like my Pixel 6 Pro, at one point I got 2.5 hours of screen on time. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I have to worry about charging this phone every night. But even with the Pixel 4a and in my Pixel 5a video comparison, I talk about how I don't need to worry about battery life. I don't need to worry about battery life with the Pixel 4a, especially when I first bought the device last year. But with Pixel 6, it's just like I have to consistently make sure, obviously it has more charge as of right now, but I had to make sure, like, okay, does this phone have charge? Like, is it going to last me until the evening before I go to bed? Because I'm still going to use it up until I go to bed. It just hasn't been great. This is a very controversial topic. I know a lot of other people may be getting great battery life from the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, but just, in my use, I haven't been really getting that much great battery life. Pixel 4a has been definitely performing much better. Obviously, Google Tensor is a much more powerful chip, does require a little bit more power than the Snapdragon 730G. So there are a bunch of different factors that go into it. It also depends on how you use it. I am a heavy user. I'm consistently watching YouTube videos, commenting on my YouTube videos, and it's using it really for everything, replying to emails, texting, calling, social media, browsing the web, anything and everything is like, this is my mini computer throughout most of the entire day. That's just me. But for others, it may not. They might just use their phone for calling and emailing, and that might get them throughout the day. Like, this is not a bad battery life, but it depends on how you use it. If you're a light user, I'm sure Pixel 6 is going to be a great device, as well as Pixel 4a. But the more you use it, obviously, it's not going to last you as long. If you're a heavy user like myself, use your phone for 99% of everything, yeah, it's not going to last. You're going to have to charge it every single night, and you're going to be getting about that 3.5, 4 hours of screen on time. But like I said, there are other people that are heavy users that also get more, like 5.5, 6 hours of screen on time. So it all depends on your use case scenario and how it is. But in my use, battery life has been better on the Pixel 4a, and that would be my choice between these two devices. All right, and last but not least, we come down to pricing. And let's first start off with the Pixel 4a. And this is where things are. It's a one-size configuration, so $349, and it is one color. So $349, 128 gigs of storage, 6 gigs of RAM, and you're getting this, I believe it's called Just Black. This is the only color you should be getting. You might actually be getting, I'll leave a link in the description down below. They came out with a barely blue color later on. I'll leave that link in the description down below as well. But this was initially the first only color that was released, and that came out months later. But for $349, one configuration, that's it. And for $349, I personally thought that in 2020, this was like the best budget phone, mid-range phone. Let's put it that way, the best mid-range phone to buy, period. Like, it's great. But when you want to compare it to something like the Pixel 6, its older brother now, because this is the newer device, I'll be putting up prices right here as well. $599 for 128 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM. $699 for 256 gigs of storage, 8 gigs of RAM. I was personally expecting the starting price of the Pixel 6 at least to be $699. It came out to be $599. That is amazing. Upgraded camera, updated design, overall much better display from its predecessor, Google Tensor chip. It has almost everything this Pixel 6 Pro has, very few compromises. This device has very few compromises. It has its bugs. It has its flaws. Every phone has its flaws. But for $599, yes, which is still expensive. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm putting emphasis. Don't expect just because I'm putting emphasis on $599, oh my God, that's like, I'm not saying it's cheap. By no means. $599, $600 is still an expensive device. Even $350, for many, it's an expensive device. But when you compare it to the competition, what is offered inside this device, it is definitely much more on the cheaper side, comparing it to its competitors. But if you want to compare it with the Pixel 4a, looking at both devices, for an extra $250, you're getting a significant improvement, like a bunch of significant upgrades that I think are worthy to put in the extra $250 for the Pixel 4a when upgrading, if you were to upgrade to the Pixel 6. But there are the prices. It definitely comes down to you. But if I were given the choice of either device, I'm still going to say Pixel 6 for pricing, because for me, pricing is an important factor, and for many it is. But also look at the other features that come with it. When you're comparing these two devices, yes, pricing is important. Yes, Pixel 4a might be cheaper, but what are you losing out on if you decide to go with Pixel 4a over Pixel 6? Really do think about that through, but my choice is going to be Pixel 6 for pricing. And that about wraps up this video. Overall, they're really both great devices from Google. I think Google is doing really well in the mid-range market with the Pixel 4a as well as the Pixel 5a, and when they first started with the A series, the Pixel 3a in 2019. But overall, if you're to ask me which one would I choose as a daily device, I'm going to say Pixel 6. The only thing that really does bug me is the battery life. It's just not what I expected. I guess I had my expectations really high up there. I guess I shouldn't do that for next time. There are some other flaws software-wise. Fingerprint sensor is not that great. Okay, but otherwise, I would take everything: the display, the all-new design, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, the upgraded camera, both in photos and videos. Really, in every aspect, there's upgrades. Sub 6 gigahertz 5G. Pixel 6 does not come with millimeter wave. Keep that in mind. And Pixel 4 over Pixel 4. This doesn't even have 5G support. But for 350, guys, for 350, just because I'm choosing this, it doesn't mean, Pixel 4a is a bad device. I've had this device since it was released last year. Like I said, I think it's the best mid-range device to pick up even in 2021. And overall, it beats Pixel 6 in battery performance in my use. And if you were to give me this device to use, like if I had no other option to use and Pixel 4 was the only one, I'd still use it. I still happily use it because it gets the work done for me. I'm able to call and text and watch videos and even play, Call of Duty once in a while. I wouldn't have any issue using this device. And I did use it for a while when I first picked up the Pixel 4a last year. But I think I would put in the extra $250 personally and go with the extra features found on the Pixel 6. But that about wraps up this video and my thoughts and opinions. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it means so much to me. With your support, liking the videos, commenting, subscribing, sharing, it's possible. It wouldn't have been possible to make these types of videos, pick up these devices and compare them. Thank you all so much. It really does mean a lot to me. But that's been it, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Anyway, everybody, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to superman that like button, comment down below, because with the more interactions we get on this video, not only helps the video and the channel, but also pushes the video out to more viewers. And best of all, superman that subscribe button. Until next time, everybody, and until next video, this is MTG.